Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you a simple B execute you can use with 2 players to easily go onto the B bomb site and using your pugs. I see a lot of pugs, especially towards the lower levels, just trying to abuse the A ramp, and this can be successful if the CTs don't really know how to use util, especially if they don't know the sort of standard crane mollies and nades. However, it's very easily readable, especially if you rush due to the sound cues the CTs get. So you want to try alternating which bomb site you go to, so you're harder to read. So this setup requires, at a minimum, 2 smokes and 2 mollies, but it's also beneficial to have nades and flashes to get initially onto the B stairs. So if you're trying to use this execute at the start of the round, you're going to need a flash to pop into B stairs. So one of you is going to land against this pillar. I just bank it off this gap here. You can really use any part of the window here, but you sort of want to aim and try and bank it off the left side ideally. And what this is going to do is any player who's playing B and wants to go for a fast peek, which is quite common on pugs like this, he's going to be insta-blind. So he might take a shot with the AWP and then fall back. So what you want to do is probably not peek immediately on the flash, because it's not really too important if you get the kill or not, but you just don't want to die. You want to wait for the AWP shot, try and bait it out, and then peek. And then you should have B stairs control. My advice is, late rounds, if you hear utility and you haven't taken B stairs at the start of the round, if you hear utility being thrown towards B stairs, so for example some Molotovs, they might probably smoke here, which is quite a common smoke, you're probably okay to take B stairs dry, so that's without any util, so you can come up, just clear your corners slowly, but honestly, unless they're 200 IQ and baiting for this guy here by throwing smokes here, B stairs is probably clear, so you can take that control for free. So again, that's why I said that this flash here is optional, and if you're taking B stairs at the start of the round, you probably want to throw that. So once you have B stairs control, you can actually start setting up the main execute. And the main strength of this util step is that you're throwing the smoke and the molly from the same place, and you want to be sort of finding util lineups from the same place, otherwise you're just going to be walking around finding all your lineups, taking a long time to execute, and ideally you want all of the util to land roughly around the same time, just so you can sort of get onto the bomb site faster and play rotations basically. So this first smoke lineup is from the right side of gens. It's for the right side of gens either. You just crouch, aim at the corner of this box, stand back up, and left click. This is a really common smoke, you've probably seen it in pro matches, just like that. And that's going to smoke the left side of gens if you're playing a CT, but obviously right is T. And what this is going to do is just block, obviously, any good vision. Stand here, try and see over, but as a T, you've got to be aware that they could probably be scaffolding, so you can easily spam that. And the Molotov to go with that is again in this corner. See this rectangle here just to the left of the orange netting. Aim a little bit higher. You can molly default there. If you aim higher than that, you can actually get onto the headshot box. Just like that. And what this is going to do is it's going to force these players playing either double stack or headshot box to either commit and take the fight, in which you can easily kill him, or he's going to have to be forced back and play retake. So that's the first player's objective, is to throw that smoke and molly. And the second player is going to get into this corner, in between the sandbags and the fence. He's going to crouch. He's going to try and find this dot. Go straight up, and then uncrouch. So you're finding the dot to the left side of this pole, following it all the way up to the top of the railing, and then uncrouching, and then left click. And that's going to smoke the left side of gens, or obviously the right as your CTs even. And as you can see, it makes it super hard to get onto the B bomb site. You can't see anything over here. The only way you can actually get onto the B bomb site is if you use the rafters, and there's going to be a big sound cue, and it's going to literally be the only angle you can see as a T, so you're going to get easily killed. And the molly to go with it again, stand in the same corner. Aim at this sticky outy little semicircle thing just above this red rectangle. Aim in the middle, and simply just jump through.
Throwing a Molotov.
And this is going to molly out quad. So this player here is going to either go swing this way, and it's an easy gunfight because you should be head glitching here, so it's going to be super hard for this guy to hit the headshot. Or he's going to swing out right side of white box, and again, visible from stairs. So if I'm throwing both of these smokes here, I won't do the Molotov because they'll extinguish by the time I actually get onto the bomb site. But when you're going onto the bomb site as a T, you can see that most of it is smoked off, just like that. And again, as a CT, it's going to be very hard to get onto the bomb site. So after throwing 2 smokes and 2 mollies, you should be able to get up here. And the AWPer who normally plays on the headshot box is going to be pushed back to the gens, hopefully, or you're going to kill him. You want the person with a flash, or anyone with a flash, just to flash over white box here like this. You don't need any lineup, just aim it over the white box. And what this is going to do is this is going to blind anyone playing any of these angles. So if they're playing around the smoke, behind the smoke, in front of the smoke, they're going to get blind. If they want to jump onto this rafters after this has been smoked, which is quite a common play, they're going to be blind. If anyone is on headshot here, scaffolding even, they're going to get blind too. It's a really powerful flash. And not only that, if your teammates run in front of the white box, they're not going to get blind. So you want to be throwing that every time you execute. And you want these players to get up here before you throw that flash. So once that flash pops, you want these players here to peek these angles, you can spray behind the smokes, easily pre-fire these positions. And anyone remaining on site or behind the smokes will be blind. So it's pretty good god flash basically. And there you have it. So that's a pretty easy execute on the B bomb site, which you can use in your pugs. Honestly, if you use the strategy in any pretty much level below level 10, you're going to take the B bomb site. Again, a super common setup on the B bomb site is literally an AWPer just to run here at the start of the round. And you're just going to peek like this, and you're going to flash him off as the execute states. He's going to probably fall back to default here and play this angle. And then you're going to molly him off as part of the execute. And he's going to be forced to play behind gens. Gens is going to be smoked here. He's going to have no real option other than to peek here, which you've already flashed him off the angle, and you've got players holding this angle. Or even mollies. Or he's going to have to play retake and wait for the smokes to fade. And by then, hopefully you've got the bomb down, and you've got about 20 seconds to kill all of you and defuse the bomb. And retaking with an AWP is very hard, especially on B when you've got good places where you can hide, such as ramp, white box, or cubby. The main reason I see people dying in this execute is if they run upstairs without any util, and that again, that goes for most places on Vertigo. If you run without any util dry, you're likely just going to get picked off by an AWP. This is why this strategy is super effective at low levels. It's because once you do the smokes and the mollies, every place pretty much is wiped out on B bomb site. The only places you've got to check is this cubby, which is super easy to check. And you can just spam through this as well. And white box. And white box you can just nade out, especially. Just aim a nade over like that. Same with the flash. And you're going to hit someone playing behind here. One thing to note though, is when you molly, default or headshot, players like to smoke it and play around it. So if you see a smoke being used on headshot, it's a pretty good chance someone's playing behind it. Better players normally would try and play behind it and try and abuse it, or others simply would choose to fall back. So I hope someone's learned something in this B execute, whether it's new flash, new molly, new smoke, or just getting better awareness on how to play the B bomb site. And see you in the next one.